You're correct, sir. It wasn't good business, and it wasn't about good business. You know, it was about taking over an industry, period. You know, we should have let GM fail if that's the direction they were headed, and allow the free market to take care of itself. You know, as far as the money's being spent, yes, we believe all the money has not been spent, and we could, you know, project on what they're doing. You know, look, you know, we the sheeple seem to like it. When all of a sudden the government throws out money and things seem to be fine and everything's well and good, and all of a sudden we forget about the past and who we've had and what's been happening. You know, we got to accept some responsibility for that. So yes, I do believe there'll be some play that they'll throw some money out there and people will have some jobs. So it'll be a band-aid job. It won't be a true fix because the government can't fix it. And then we'll forget where we've been and what's been going on. So your responsibility is to kind of look at the way things have been going and vote responsibly come May 4th.
Mr. Hostetler. I believe a major reason that the hundreds of billions of dollars have not been allocated to this point is we simply don't have the borrowing power to do it. Not that we should do it. I believe we shouldn't do it, and I would have opposed the stimulus bill had I been in Congress to vote against it. But I think what we're seeing is the beginning of a problem that's going to become constant for us, and that is we are going in the process of beginning to not be able to borrow sufficient funds to run the government as it is put in place today. That's why we need to take this as a warning sign. We need to take this as close to a red light, that we have to stop this process of spending more than we take in. That if we don't do that, if we don't see this warning sign, then we're just going to have more tragedy in the future.
Mr. Schlitzman, sorry. Soon after the stimulus bill was passed, a veteran told me that he had just visited Washington, D.C., and that he passed the Treasury and there was smoke coming out of the windows of the basement where the printing presses were going. And, you know, that's the sad case of it, is that, yes, this money, I believe, once they have it, will be used for political purposes to help those who voted for the administration a particular way to help win those elections and, you know, to bring back the bacon. I believe that also there's, we're putting ourselves in a very vulnerable position by trying to spend the rest of this money as we get it, as we can borrow it. And I think that as soon as we take over Congress, the first act we should do is stop the spending, turn around and either put the money back towards the debt or give it back to the American people and let the consumer drive the economy. The consumer stimulates the economy. The American government doesn't stimulate the economy. So I believe that it is for political purposes, because remember, he is from Chicago.
Felt like a backhanded slap to me. I don't know about you people. Question right here in the aisle, please.
This question is about the Supreme Court. One of your important responsibilities from the Constitution is your advice and consent of the President's appointments to the Supreme Court. President Obama has already had one liberal justice get approved for the Senate, and he's probably going to have 2 more appointments. How are you going to stop Barack Obama from packing the Supreme Court with liberal judges?
Is your first question to a specific person?
It's all of them.
Okay, let's go ahead and start at the other end this time. We'll start with Marlo Simpson.
Well, you know, talk about a situation that we're put into, you know, potentially trust the Supreme Court to stop the health care bill. I think that one of the most fundamental votes that we can cast as U.S. Senators is for the Supreme Court justice, and that is the third branch of government. I mean, if elected to the United States Senate, we have a 6-year term. They have a lifetime appointment. And we have seen the legislation that they have passed from the bench and how it affects the laws that we have that have been passed by Congress. And I believe that if we're going to have a confirmation process, you take into account each particular nominee's cases, case by case, and what they have ruled in the past. I think that you cast a vote yes or no according to what you believe that particular justice will rule from the bench. I do not believe that we should have legislation from the bench, but instead strict constructionist judges that rule in mind with the Constitution in mind.
Thank you. Let's move our way this way, Mr. Hostetler. I don't want to make light of the decision of selecting a Supreme Court justice. I will likewise ask the justice nominee if they are willing to adhere strictly to the United States Constitution. If they are not able to do that or answer questions that I have regarding the 14th Amendment, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and others, as well as provisions in the Constitution, then I will not support them. I think I take the advice and consent requirement very seriously. However, it was Andrew Jackson, President Andrew Jackson, who tradition says once pointed to Chief Justice John Marshall and said, "The Chief Justice has spoken, now let him enforce it." We have got to return to a proper understanding of the relative strength and authority of the United States Supreme Court vis-a-vis the legislature, the Congress, and the President. When we do that, we will put more responsibility in the hands of our elected officials to stand in the way of these bad decisions.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Meany.
Yes, I don't have any confidence in this Supreme Court that they will strike down this health care legislation. I will not give an upvote to any justice, no matter what their record is, or what their education is, and, or how long he served on any bench, or how many black robes they own. If they won't publicly state that they are pro-life, unless they will publicly state they are pro-life. This whole thing, it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you don't have the life thing down, the liberty and the pursuit of happiness thing ain't going to follow. We've become a culture of death. We must get back to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bates.
So again, Dan, you asked a question that I don't know was fully answered, so I will do my best. First of all, I think we should pray every day for the health of Chief Justice Roberts and Justices Scalia, Alito, Clarence Thomas, and Anthony Kennedy when he's doing the right thing. And I mean that tongue-in-cheek. I hope you understand that. It's very possible that the current senator from our state, both of them, would support another Obama nominee, which disappoints me greatly. I could not have voted for Justice Sotomayor. I think what we have to do, how can we stop this president the best we can hope for? If you'll give us a strong majority. I doubt there's a possibility I can vote for one Obama appointee because I know his philosophy. But give us strong majorities and elect men with courage and conviction.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time, and we're going to get ready now for their closing arguments, and we'll let them do that. We're already 10 minutes beyond, so we want to do that. First, let's show our appreciation for all the gentlemen and their work. Sir, I'm sorry, 25 minutes ago, sir, I named the order of the people we go through because of time, and we did that 25 minutes ago. Sir, I'm sorry, I didn't see you, and nothing was said then, and I've got to move on. Sir, I'm going to ask you to sit down, and you can ask the questions out there. They're going to be at the tables. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What I said, sir, I'll thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All right. We've gone 10 minutes over. By the time we're done, we'll be 20 minutes over. We also have to be fair to the people of the hall. Sir, as am I, and you're going to have the opportunity to ask them individually out there. Thank you for coming. Now, we said at the beginning, and I think it's still true, that the next senator from the state of Indiana is actually sitting on the stage at this point, and I believe that they will come from these gentlemen. What I will say is I know that many of you now I do appreciate the gentlemen making their time of being here tonight. I do think the next senator comes from this group. As I was saying, I do think a lot of us came into the room maybe knowing our candidate. Maybe we didn't, and now we do. Maybe we're a step closer. But I will say this. If your favorite does not sit well, if your favorite on the platform is not the one that wins, and one of these other gentlemen should win the primary, let me just say that the good news is what we have sitting here is better than anything that's coming from the other side. And my guess is every one of them would stand against the New World Order. What we will do, the Illuminati meeting will be down the hall, room 204. You have to be out by 11. Phyllis Pond is coming around and she's locking up.